This one time, at band camp, I saw a girl stick a flute in her pussy. It was a week later, I quit band camp. Not because of her, but because Mr. Johnson kept sniffing all the instruments. You'll never forget the smell of that flute, kind of lavendery and old shoe.
Hello, good afternoon. How is everyone? You hear my fan start up? Well, anyways, how is everybody's afternoon? And in the United States, it's 5:42 a.m., so it's morning time. Well, how's everybody's morning? You getting ready to go to work? Just having my evening cup of coffee, so I figured I would get on here and say hi to everybody. Don't think I made a video yesterday, so figured I would get on here today and make me a video saying hi. Straighten my t-shirt out a little bit. You notice I wear a lot of t-shirts lately. I've been transitioning, losing that weight, trying to get back in shape, and a lot of my t-shirts I used to wear has gotten really big on me, so I have this batch of t-shirts put back that's smaller, so I'm trying them, and hopefully by November, December, hopefully like that it'll be 1 year that I've been kind of really dieting, so I will hopefully be putting this batch of t-shirts up and going to the little smaller t-shirts and trying to get that weight off of me, get that diabetes off of me, give it to somebody else, go give it to the tree or something. But anyways, I didn't get a chance really to make a video, so figured I would make a video now, and while I was drinking my coffee and talk to everyone and let everybody know they had a good birthday, and thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. Some of you that didn't wish me a happy birthday, no, I'm just joking. But anyways, I had a good birthday. My kids, they wanted donuts, so they got them donuts for their birthday. No donuts for this old man, but they enjoyed them. So that was good. I enjoyed that. Now, the next holiday, I do believe, is next week. 4th of July in the United States is coming up. Independence Day celebration. Fireworks and fun. When I was a kid, I remember going to the 4th of July events, and way back in the days when the old horse and wagons was around. Now, I remember going to the events, and they had festivals and fairs and these little things where you throw stuff at the slow guy. No, you throw stuff at things, and you get you win these buttons and squirt guns, and being 22 years old, one of them little squirt guns didn't mean a lot to me. Now you get you win different things. I remember being young, being a kid, and going to the Marion County to Ocala, Florida, was the 4th of July, and they had this little festival kind of a thing at Tuscaloosa Park in Ocala. And they had this little thing, and I remember winning a little tiny, one of them little metal pins. I don't know what it said. It could have said, Good Luck Skippy on the front of it for all I knew, but it was a little metal pin. Probably said, I like coffee or something. But anyways, I remember winning that, and I was so happy being a kid. You win stuff like that, and don't take much to get you happy. Look at the box of Cracker Jacks. Open them up, and hey, look what I got. I got it. I got this little plastic something and stuff. What about the Cracker Jacks? Now when you get older and you're like, wow, Cracker Jacks, those are the treats. So, when you're young, you don't think you'll dig through that whole box of Cracker Jacks or dig through that whole box of cereal just to find the prize that they used to have in them. And it's kind of ironic and weird that you eat the cereal and you enjoy the cereal, but you dump that cereal out just to get the prize, and the prize was just random whatever. I remember when I was a kid winning we got a box of cereal in the store and it had a record on the back of it. The record was made out of cardboard, but you cut it out and you put it on your thing there and you play a record. And we didn't have a record player, so it took us a month or so till we can put it on there. But being a kid, it don't take much to enjoy stuff, to win stuff, to have stuff. Like I said, on 4th of July, you go there and you play games and you win stuff. I remember Sarasota going to 4th of July festivals over there at Marina Jacks, the waterfront. And they had these little festivals, and you look forward to the fireworks shooting off at night, but you also look forward to the things, little tiny rides. I remember going on a little water boat ride. It looked like a barrel with a little motor attached to the back of it, and smoking. If you lean back too far, you'd burn yourself on the hot motor. But we enjoyed ourselves. Being kids, we used to enjoy ourselves. So anyways, as you get older, and like me, you have kids, and my kids enjoy themselves, and it don't take much to get them happy. And my 15-year-old daughter, I remember when she was little, and you get her a lollipop, and she's like, oh boy, lollipop. Now, you buy her a lollipop, and she's, oh wow. She probably still happy about it, but she just don't let on that she's happy. Well, anyways, you guys have kids, so you guys know. I'm hoping the ones that have kids know the joys of having children. I have been the last couple days looking online for a hand puppet. Hand puppet, not the sock puppet, not the one, the hand puppets with the little mouth on them and everything. Muppet puppets. And over here it's hard to get them. Over here, I kind of wanted a little puppet so my kids can help me do the videos, the intros and stuff that I do. The only one I really saw on there is I saw some hand puppets that don't have hands. They got these little flat thingies out there, and then a Jeffy puppet that had, arms and legs on it, and had a pencil or something stuck out its nose. So I thought about buying the Jeffy. My daughter wanted the Jeffy doll. But like I said, the only one I could see is a Jeffy doll that had pencil things stuck out its nose, and its eyes was all like, sort of like me, It kind of looked like a puppet, don't it? My shaved head and glasses and stuff. So I had thought about buying the Jeffy doll because it does have arms and legs on it, and taking its Jeffy shirt off and its Jeffy diaper off and putting the and also buying a one of them hand puppets. There you go. And buying them puppets like that, and cutting its head off and putting it on the other thing, putting it on the Jeffy doll. So I could have a puppet that has arms and legs, just have to change clothes or buy clothes, but stitch some arms and the legs on it, and I could do the intro. My daughter, she wants the Jeffy doll, so might have to buy two of them and let her have one. So I have another daughter, Jessica. I actually called Jennifer Jessica the other day. So I have a daughter, Jessica. She's 14, going to be 15 this year, and she's into emo. I don't think she's really into goth. I think she's more into emo. Kind of likes the black hair and the black outfits and stuff. So I had thought about buying one of them puppets and finding one with black hair and buying a little black outfit and things like that, and having one that, you know, anything I can get her into my videos. If I can get her into my videos, just even participating and helping me. She likes doing stuff, likes being stuff, but I think she's shy, or she just, sometimes if I try to put her on video, she'll say, hey, I'm in, stuff. So if I can get her, you know, what would you guys think about? Would you like to see maybe an intro or something, one of my puppets doing something funny, a half mixed up Jeffy old man doll, or maybe a emo, you know, one of those life sucks kind of a dolls or something. And I could come up with my skits, you know, at the beginning, but I could just have one of the puppets or something, or two of the puppets do the intros for me. Trying something new just to see my show. And there was a couple times I put the show on SoBerry Says It channel that I have, trying something new. But I have the SoBerry Show channel, and that's I made that for doing my SoBerry Show weekly show, and my hopefully going into live stream, letting you guys give me your thoughts on stuff. So, and I also thought about a podcast. I was entertaining doing the podcast. I just don't really have subjects to talk about. I think I'm not really that entertaining that I could sit for a half hour or 45 minutes and pod. So, again, if I can get my kids on there to kind of talk to me about stuff, and my kids as friends, or things like that. I have another daughter, and she's 22, and she's in college and taking, I think she was taking culinary in college. I'm not really sure. So, that's how much they talk to me about stuff. She was taking culinary, so I would love to interview her on a podcast and just see what she has to say about her school and the things she does. And, but we'll just have to think about a podcast, think that through, and we're still thinking on the live streams. Um, if you guys would be interested in watching a live stream, or you'd be interested in watching something like that, just let me know in the comments. I watch people that watch my show every week, and they really, they don't really leave comments. And hey, shame on you people for not leaving me a comment and telling me how much my show sucks. So I'm just going to try to do the SoBerry show on the SoBerry Show channel, and till we can figure out what I'm doing. There ain't a lot going on up here, so we have to figure out. But I'm real happy and enjoy everyone that does watch me and does stick around and see me say stupid stuff. Even though I ramble on about a lot of stuff. There you go, rambling on again. Even though I do go on about a bunch of stuff. I'd like to really, really know how many of you live in Sarasota or from Sarasota. Because the biggest part of my past enjoyment in the past was in Sarasota, Florida. Not to say that I don't have past from, Bellevue, Florida, or Marion County, and Miami, and Tampa, and St. Pete, and Orlando, and Kissimmee, but when I was younger, biggest majority of Sarasota, maybe some of you people from Sarasota that was in Sarasota say, I remember the old bridge that used to go across there, and I remember going out and fishing in that water, and I remember I had a girlfriend, and that girlfriend said she used to go out with you a long time, just stuff like that. I would like to hear from people their experiences and what they did. If other people thought it was a very good place, or where you live at. If you live in Maryland, or I'm from downtown the streets of Chicago, and it's one of the safest cities around. When we were little, growing up, we could play in the streets and didn't have to worry about nothing. So anyways, just let me know about where you're from. I'm not really gonna, what have we been on here, 8 minutes, and I've already rambled on how many times about stuff? Well, anyways, I know I had already talked about my experience in the hospital here, and me being in the hospital and having to go to the hospital and things like that, and you guys are probably tired of hearing about me being in the hospital and tired of hearing about me, losing my toe. But I just figured I would talk about my experiences in the hospital of going there in an emergency situation and having to stay there, and about the middle of the month, whenever you don't have money. See, I'm living month to month to month to month, like a lot of other people here, and usually first of the month you have some money to give, but in the middle of the month, when something happens and you're stuck in the hospital, and the hospital says, hey, before we can give you that rectal thermometer temperature, we need another 10,000, 11,000 vessels. So, and you thinking, I'm in the hospital, they won't let me out of the hospital to get that 10, 11,000, so you have to depend on somebody else to get it. So you get it, and a couple days later they ask for more money. Seemed like every 2 or 3 or 4 days they were hitting me up for money. And even though whenever I went into the hospital, my wife and them had something, there's stuff here in the Philippines called PhilHealth. Now PhilHealth I wouldn't wouldn't say medical insurance, or I would say medical insurance, because with PhilHealth, you go into the hospital. At the end of the hospital, you show the PhilHealth card, PhilHealth, to them. They bill PhilHealth, and PhilHealth takes so much, pays so much money, and then you have to come up with the rest of the money. So PhilHealth kind of does help out a little bit. But what they do here is, in the middle of your hospital visit, in the middle of your hospital stay, a lot of them will say, I need another $10,000. Oh, look at there, we gave you an extra pill. You owe us another $20,000 before we... So you're constantly having to give money while you're in the hospital. And, I mean, I'm not saying the hospital didn't take good care of me, other than that IV they gave me and caused my hand to swell up the size of a watermelon. And then they said, you know, don't do it again to me. So other than that, they were nice and come in every 2 or 3 minutes and check my blood pressure and said, hey, your blood pressure is the same as it was 3 minutes ago. So, being in there and having an operation done, and the person that cut my toe off, he was very nice, very, very professional, and he'd make his rounds and check on everything, and the anesthesiologist was professional, and God, it was in there while I was out of it. He kept rubbing my chest. He was professional. No, I'm just joking. But anyways, the hospital was very professional until time to leave. Now, I wanted to leave earlier, and you know, when you're in there and the doctor says, the hospital administration comes up there and says, hey, you owe, I don't know, 285,000 pesos, or you owe a big bill. And you're like, hold on, I'm in the hospital here, I'm trying to get it, and that amount of money. And I say, well, what about PhilHealth? What did PhilHealth cover? Well, you give us the money and then we'll bill Phil, you know. So, I was supposed to come up with, I don't know, 50, 60,000, 70,000. So I forgot exactly how much it was. But, see, over here, if you're in a hospital, and I don't care what the law says or anything, if you're in a hospital here and the hospital goes to discharge you and they go to let you out of the hospital and they say you owe us 70,000, 80,000 pesos, they want that 80,000 pesos before they let you out. They're not going to let you out. You know, it was times that I was aggravated, foot bandaged up and everything, that I wanted to go in there and climb out that bathroom window, which we were on the 2nd or 3rd floor, but I was tempted to go climb out that bathroom window, shimmy down one of them drain pipes. I was aggravated. But anyways, got the money, paid them. I think it took a day or something to pay them. And I went there to the end of the office. They said, well, go ahead and go home. We'll have your stuff available. So anyways, I went home, took a taxi home, got up the next morning to go back to the hospital because I wanted to get my bill, my papers and the bill and the hospital bill and everything, because if something ever happened, I need all that information, and I need all those paperwork and the bills and everything. And I went back in there to the hospital. Or actually, I think my wife went in there first, and they said, well, we don't have time to give you the bill. So, And she went back the next day, and I said, look, you know, you got what you got. He got home, so they act like they didn't want to give me the hospital bill. So it was probably a week later, I went back in there. It wasn't the next day, it was like a week later, I went back in there. And I went in there, and they told her, we don't give hospital bills here, you know, we just... And I went in there, and I demanded, and I said, look, I need a hospital bill. The full rundown of the hospital bill. What PhilHealth paid, what I had to pay. I want that hospital. And they just, sir, we don't, that's, no. You're a hospital. You're going to give that to me. First place is, I had a referral to another doctor, and you guys didn't even give me that referral. And we don't know anything about a referral. And I said, I had medication that was due. Prescription medication. You guys didn't give me any of that. Sir, we don't know what you're talking. Well, anyways, I had them draw up a hospital bill. They were mad at me. They didn't want to do it, but they drew a hospital bill up. Showed what PhilHealth paid, showed what I had to pay. And they kind of just chucked it across the counter there, and I took it and left. And whenever I would go back to the hospital, or not to the hospital, when I go back, they have a, I forgot what they call that, outpatient clinic at the same hospital. And I had to go see a vein doctor, artery doctor, so back over there to see the artery. But they had this sorry, snooty, snobby attitude in that one office. So the rest of the people were nice in there. The other doctor was nice, and then the one section I was in was nice. They probably didn't know anything about what the other part did, but I suggest that if you're here in the Philippines and something happens, or before something happens, you do your study and your research on hospitals. Now, I have a hospital right next door over there that I should have went to. I went into them years and years ago to stay in there a couple of days, and they were a good hospital, really nice and everything, but I was talked into going to this hospital down the street, and you know, I won't never go back in that. If something ever happened to me again, I wouldn't go back in that hospital. You know, I have a hospital right next door, and forbid nothing happened to me. Forbid that I don't get sick. Forbid me taking another diabetic spell. I watch what I eat, and I'm losing this weight and everything else, so forbid something like that happen to me, that I have to go to the hospital again. But I know this hospital next door is a good hospital. And when I was in there before and I got out, they billed PhilHealth, and then they gave me the bill and gave me the stuff right away, brought it to my room. So I just want to let people know, expats, people, that if something happens, you know, have your hospital plan made out. If you have insurance, make sure the hospital that you're planning on, that something happens that you have to go to, make sure that the insurance will cover it, or PhilHealth will cover it, and have that all sorted out before you go. And don't be like me and have to go in the middle of the month and not have any money, and you know, and thinking, what am I going to do? And, you know, I had a lot of time to think about it, because when I first went in there, they had me sitting out in the open in a hospital gurney for, I think it was 8 hours before they even gave me a room. But have your stuff planned out. Hopefully, if you're a foreigner and you're here in the Philippines, hopefully you have the money and the resources to get back to the United States. I'm not going to talk bad about hospitals here, because they do have top medical care. It's just some of the local administrative parts of it is just, they haven't caught up with the times or something. But anyways, one toe less later, and I think October I got out, so yeah, it won't be too much longer. It'll be a year out of the hospital, and I still haven't got them to figure out what they did with my toe. I'm doing good every day, doing good. My medication, I was on metformin. Doctors here, they don't really know a lot, so they put you on medication that they know will do something at that moment. So I was on metformin. Now, I had to take a pill in the morning and a pill in the evening, and blood pressure pill in the morning, blood pressure pill in the evening. I was taking 100 milligrams in the evening time, but they changed it to one pill in the 50 milligrams in the morning, 50 milligrams at night. Same thing with my blood pressure pill, and my artery doctor gave me a bunch of medicine, Plavix and whatever, I don't know. But as I was losing weight and checking my diabetes, checking my blood sugar, I quit drinking any soft drinks. I mean, I couldn't tell you what a soda tastes like. I quit eating sugar, no sugars. I mean, whatever. Some of these things may have a gram or something of sugar in them, but I quit eating sugar. I quit eating cakes and cookies and ice creams and all that stuff. And I figured if the diabetes is going to get me, it's going to have to, come up blindside me in the back of the head. So I quit doing all that stuff. I quit eating bread. Now, this is something I had to find out. I thought, if he eats wheat bread, he'll be alright. That wheat bread and that stuff, grain breads and wheat breads is bread. Bread is bread, no matter where it comes from. And oatmeal is starches and soys and rice and soy and all that. You cut all that stuff out. I know that I saw a lot of people online who have diabetes or borderline diabetes that still eat some of that stuff. Ken Domick over there at Ken Domick, that one that vlog channel, he's trying to watch his sugar, but I noticed he still breaks down, eats a cake or a cookie every once in a while. Same thing with a couple more of these YouTubers. I think Video Bob Mosley is talking about having diabetes, but you see him eating a lot of stuff. I don't want to take that chance. They haven't lost any body parts yet that I know of. Mine was so bad, that diabetic ulcer was so bad in my toe, and that I had to lose my toe, and I don't want to lose body parts. I don't want to die. I want to be around for my kids, so they are into making videos, and I would love to make videos and have people watch my videos, but I'm not about to kill myself, to do a Damon drops and kill myself while I'm eating a big pizza just for the views. So maybe it's okay to eat certain things, and maybe it's alright to have that snack or something, or to eat that bowl of macaroni and cheese or something, but I'm not going to do it. I am losing weight now. I'm slimming down. I'm getting back into that shape like when I was 60. Now I'm getting back into my weight class that I'll put up there a video somewhere, one of them little short. I'll put a short on there showing a video of when I was really fat, just so you guys can see. And when I say I was fat and you guys say, hey, he goes on about being fat and everything else, all you guys just, look at me now and then look at me back then, a year ago. Look at me a year or a year and a half ago. And tell me the difference, what you think. I mean, I got this turkey waddle thing going on under here, but it is slimmed down. And they got some ear hairs growing out of here that I didn't have back when I was fat. But that comes with getting older. When my birthday came and they said happy birthday, and got up in the morning time and said happy birthday, and all of a sudden I looked in there and looked in the mirror and it said poof, like a big ear puffs, ear hairs. Yeah, one day I'd eat ear hairs. So I started plucking them out. Blink, blink, and it ain't got to be too many, so broke out the razor and so it just happens when you get older. But the point about things is, don't let yourself get sick. Don't let yourself get diabetes. I mean, if they're in the United States and they're doing that stuff and it's bad, but if I was in the United States and something like this happened and I had to go to the hospital, let's say in the middle of the month. Now, I'm sure it's the same way as it used to be. I'm sure it couldn't have changed that much. I'm sure that, if you have to go to the emergency room on the 13th or 14th of the month and you tell them, hey, it's an emergency, I don't have health insurance or none of that stuff, but this is an emergency, check my foot's gonna fall off, or you get stabbed, or say anything, they'll most likely take care of it. I'm sure that they won't say, no, not him, They'll take care of it, and then they'll just bill you an extreme amount of money. I mean, when I was over here and I did go and I got out of the hospital and everything, it really wasn't a lot of money. It was like, the final bill was like $6,000 or $7,000, $6,000 maybe, and that was before the other money that I had to foot up. But I think that's a pretty good bargain to have your toe cut off and diabetes checked and insulin shots in your stomach for stay in the hospital for a week or so. I don't think you could get the insulin shots for that over there in the United States. But anyways, if you don't have it, you don't have it. So over there, if you don't have it, they will take care of you and just build the mess out of you, and you'll spend the next 4 years trying to pay your medical bills off. But at least you'll be over there to at least if you get done, they're not going to hold you hostage in the hospital. They'll make you sign a paper and say, hey, you better pay that or we'll mess your credit up. So at least over there they do it. And I'm thinking about going back over there only for four reasons. And first thing is my kids. They want to go over there, experience the USA life. Number two is my mom and my brother and everybody says, hey, you ought to come over here and get on SSI. And I used to tell them that I had diabetes before, I have high blood pressure before, and I applied over here and they turned me down. And they said, hey, at your age and you missing your toe and you having problems and you having diabetes and you having blood pressure problems and you having vein problems, I'm sure they'll give it to you. So that's one of the reasons that I'm go over there just to apply again so they can tell me, no, not him, no, not you. Well, maybe they'll say yeah, and they'll give me that great big monthly check that SSI gives out of what, 800, 900 a month. Well, anyways, the third reason is I'm a content creator, a YouTuber, a vlogger, and I do make videos. And over here where I'm at, this area, I'm limited to what I can do. A lot of people say, hey, you're in the Philippines. If you was in Dumaguete or Angel City or something, you could be making all kinds of money. But no, I'm not. I'm not in them cities. And I'm here where I'm at. I'm in this city, and there's not a lot going on. I mean, there's a mall there and a mall there, and every day I can get up and do the mall thing like I've been doing this sitting here at the house thing. But in the United States, at least I'd have access to a vehicle and going and riding around and filming and doing the Adam DeWoo daily getting out and riding around kind of a thing. So I can give that a try. That's what, number 3. Number 4 is, my son is over there and I do miss him, and I want my other kids to be with him and around him, and that way they can all get to knowing each other. And then, number 5 is the hot women into you. No, I'm just joking. I'm not really into the women thing right now, because they're all the same. But anyways, those are some of the reasons for wanting to go back over there. And I still going to do the Philippines thing. It's just I'm going to do the Philippines when I'm over here thing and the United States thing when I'm over there. So, well, that's the way it is. And, go to the fairs when the fairs are there, and the 4th of July is when the 4th of July is there. Win me another little button that says I like cupcakes on the front of it. So, win me something that says I voted on the front of it. Bless me, I voted. Little stickers they give you when you vote. And the little I went to church today stickers and all that stuff that they give out. And the participation ribbons that they give out, I didn't actually run the race, but I showed up where the race was. I got me a ribbon too. It says, at least you tried, right across the front of it. So, you remember that? Remember back in the days whenever you had to, you actually had to win something, win a race, or win the 3-legged race or the shuffleboard contest. You actually had to win something to get that ribbon. You got a first place ribbon, and second place ribbon, and third place ribbon. You got that third place ribbon, everybody was like, ha, he got third place ribbon, he sucks. And the second place one was like, hey, he sucks too, but he don't suck as much as the other guy. So anyways, you participated and you won and you got those ribbons. You didn't get participation ribbons. And you could brag to all your friends about, hey, I'm number 1, you're a loser, I'm number 1. So when we were kids, that's the way it was. We got ribbons for winning and trophies and things like that for winning, We were on the bowling league and got us a trophy for being the best bowler and burning 7 strikes in a row. I don't know. So things have changed a lot. Plus, being in the United States back in the days when I was over there, when I was in college, I went to hair college to cut hair and do cosmetology, nails. Well, we had a couple gay guys that was over there. I think I don't know if they were dating each other or they just was gay together. But we knew they were gay. They knew they were gay. And, it was just a thing. I never had either one of them try to make a pass at me. And we were just all friends in school together. And over the years, that's the way a lot of people was. I was in Kmart one time, shopping. I don't know if I was carrying a basket or pushing a cart. Had some lesbian, I don't know if she was a dyke or what she was. She looked like a man, big old husky, flat top, having a chain in the wallet, big old wallet. Walked by her shopping. She said, "Hey, you look at my woman." No, I didn't look at your woman. I was walking shopping. Better not be looking. They didn't want to fight me in the Kmart. So that's when I noticed that it changed a little bit. Neighbors across the road, old guy, and a guy about my age, and then another old guy, gray-haired and stuff like him, and his boyfriend, they owned the property across the road, and they were gay and things like that. But they were nice, real nice people. So I always thought about gay people and lesbians and stuff as just people that did things that I wouldn't have done myself. But yeah, well, you can't judge them. You don't judge people. Yeah, God judges them. But anyways, they were nice neighbors across the road. Only after I came over here that I started looking at the news, looking at some of the stuff that I saw, the White House, and Joe Biden and the White House, and gay people and transgenders up there twerking and on the White House lawn and things like that, and schools, and the gay, and teaching your kids the Billy's. My boyfriend Billy's coming in here today, and we all want you, little Julie, and all you know, touch his meat sack and tell me what you think about it. So, and yeah, and you think I'm exaggerating about it, but I did see a story on there about that. And it just was the stuff, teachers, gay teachers, transgender teachers, drag queens, and all that stuff. And I thought, I'm here in the Philippines, and you see, once in a while you'll see certain things, but they didn't have it like they did over there. That was the Democrats, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. It was all of them. I'm not going to say it wasn't them. It was all of them. Because it certainly wasn't the Republicans. The Republicans are probably in the parties too, but it was the Democrats that was doing that. While I was over here, and while COVID was going on, and while all this stuff was here, and I had to be in lockdown here in the Philippines, and because the Philippines, hey, they're having a lockdown over there in Europe, USA, having a lockdown, 14 days to stop the spread, and it ended up being a year. But anyways, all that stuff was happening while I was here in the Philippines, to where I thought the world had changed. It's almost like when I came over here, and I came over here in 2010. Well, anyways, I came over here then, and you've come from the United States to where you're used to seeing things being the way they are. And one of the main reasons that I came over here is I was on blood pressure medicine, and I couldn't get any blood pressure medicine over there because I don't know if it was Obama or somebody. The doctors, when I go in there, they'd say, "Oh, you have to wait 3 months," and 3 months I didn't have any blood pressure medicine. I'm like, I can't wait 3 months to get in there and see a doctor to get. We should have thought about that 3 months ago. And then I go in there and see a doctor, and then they say, here's your 1 month of medicine. So it was that way. So in the Philippines, the one good thing about over here is if you're on a certain medicines, I think I was on Losartan, Hyzar, Lozar, one of them Zars. But you can just go into pharmacy if you're on that medicine. You go in the pharmacy and you buy it, and it's cheaper than the United States. There's no rigmaroles. You don't have to go through a big mess up and go waiting to see a doctor. You go in there and you see you buy it. And when I was happy to be able to go and get that every month, and I still went to the doctor. And you go see a doctor, you go in there and you see a doctor, and then you pay at the end of the doctor visit the fee. So they would check my blood pressure and everything was fine. The blood pressure medicine I was on worked. And like I said, I came over here in 2010 and I was still taking that same blood pressure medicine for years and years and years, and it apparently worked. So my blood pressure was fine, and like I said, I knew I had gained weight because kids' birthdays, going out to eat, and not knowing what I know now, but not knowing things, not knowing that you can't eat certain things. I was eating it, and I was over excessively eating it. Like, I wouldn't just have one slice of birthday cake, but I'd have a slice of birthday cake and some big old scoop of ice cream on it, and one of them big old things of Jollibee burgers, and on that another big slice of cake. And I would eat that stuff, and I started gaining weight and getting fat. I was told I had diabetes, and they took my sugar and said I have diabetes, and so I was taking some kind of weird diabetes pill that I could get over the counter. That's another thing. You go in there, you go to the pharmacy, and you say, hey, I need this type of medicine, this diabetic medicine. I think it was Glimfast and Glimpride and Johnson and I don't know. But anyways, I was taking that. But I was still eating the cakes and the cookies. I always thought that if you take your diabetic medicine and you drink that 2-liter bottle of soda, and you took your diabetes pill in the morning, and then you ate, 4 big pieces of cake, that you was doing okay. Well, come to find out, that wasn't true. So, at least over here you could get some things over the counter. Some things you've got to have a prescription for, like potassium. Potassium, you can go into the pharmacies and get that stuff there, but here you got to have prescription. Aspirin, you're supposed to have prescription to get aspirin here. Biogesic, which is the equivalent of Tylenol, you can get that over the counter. But anyways, I was, after my hospital thing, the doctor put me on metformin and probably some other kind of diabetes pill too, while I was taking metformin, and was taking my blood pressure pills, and I lowered my own doses down. I didn't go to the doctor yet and tell him I want to wait until I get, lose a bunch of weight and get thin. Probably in July, I may go over there and see him. But my doctor used to be fat. Dr. Ed, he was a heavy-set guy, and he lost a lot of weight. But I noticed that when I got up, now diabetes would cause that too, but I noticed when I got up and I'd go to walk around, I'd take dizzy spells. Get up, go outside, or go sit down outside, and I'd get up and get dizzy and pass out. In fact, I think this shirt that I've got on has a rip in the back of it from where I got up from sitting down and got real dizzy, disoriented, and fell against the side of the screen door outside, and I got these little screws holding something in, and I back hit that screw and ripped my shirt. I think I got a little cut. But anyways, that was happening. And I noticed that I figured that my blood pressure medicine was too much, so I stopped taking it at nighttime and kind of just started taking, I was 50 milligrams, so I started taking 50 milligrams in the morning. And let my coffee get cold. I started taking that in the daytime, morning time, and taking my metformin, and I still would take dizzy spells, so I cut my pills in half again. That's 25 milligrams of pills, so would take that one time a day, the blood pressure medicine, and my metformin I would just take it maybe one time, or sometimes I'd skip a day, because I'm looking at it this way, that I got diabetes and I got all that stuff from eating sugars and eating starches and eating all that stuff, and having something called I can't even think of the name of it, when your stomach's got a bunch of fat around the outside of it, and visceral fat. I don't think about that word, visceral fat. Well, anyways, my stomach stuck out. Other than being fat, my stomach stuck out. Now, I have something called a diastasis recti, which is a rip separation in my stomach, which, you know, you have these six packs, and everybody say, hey man, look at that guy's stomach, he's got that six pack. And well, not mine. Mine's separated apart, and probably from being fat. And so my stomach literally kind of sticks out a little bit, but I had all that visceral fat inside there. Fat around my liver, fat around my arteries, fat around my lungs, fat around all that stuff, and having to turn sideways and try to squeeze through the door. And I put a picture up there, like I said, you guys can see, and then see how fat I was. But anyways, I think I got a little short video clip of me when I was fat, acting all silly on the camera. But had that visceral fat and had all that stuff, and had to do research and say, what's the quickest way to lose weight? And OMAD, which 1 meal a day, eating eggs and sardines or something. So I was on this health kick, eating eggs, sardines, one time a day, starving myself in the beginning, to where it took a little while. I did a fast for a couple days of not eating anything, and it took a few days or something like that to where I got to where the one meal I was enjoying it, and they were talking about fasting, and I felt like they were talking about if you eat 2 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that, as long as you don't eat after 5 or whatever, and then you got the whole night you're not eating. that whole night, after 2 o'clock, 2:30, whatever, you're not eating anything, and you're not eating anything throughout the night. And the next morning when you get up, you can try not to eat. Try to just, because if you drink your cup of coffee in the morning time, you get to where you're not really hungry. A lot of times you skip breakfast anyway, where you're not really hungry until you're 12, 1 o'clock, and you eat another. So I eat 5 eggs. It's a lot of eggs, but I eat 5 eggs and can of sardines in it. Once in a while I'll eat meat, beef, things like that. You can eat steak and meat and beef and things like that, and it won't hurt you. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, maybe it's cholesterol. All that stuff is cholesterol, but it won't. It will not hurt you. In fact, I've been eating my eggs and been eating my sardines and been fasting, and I eat cucumbers. Not an everyday thing, but when I do get cucumbers, I eat them. I'll eat a carrot, and I'll eat chicharrones, pork rinds. You eat a bag of pork rinds, a little bag of pork rinds, something like that. No calories. I mean, if they do have calories, it's not much. But no, it doesn't spike your sugar up. It doesn't make that sugar go up. Now, a big old slice of chocolate cake, you make that go up, so you just don't eat that stuff. And when you see people eating rice, and you say, well, I really don't have to have the rice, I could just do without it. And you see people eating the onion rings and the fries and all that stuff that they cook in vegetable oil, and you think, I really don't have to have that. I can eat fried vegetables in butter. I could take butter, put in the vegetable oil, put in the vegetables. Vegetable oil. None of that. So, seed oils, vegetables, none of that. Just butter. Olive oil it's not bad for you, olive oil, but mostly just butter. I eat eggs in butter, and once in a while I'll get beef or pork, or especially liver. Liver's good for you, and you can eat that. And when people say, hey, that red meat's going to kill you one day, no, that diabetes is going to kill you if you're not watching what you're doing. All them processed foods is going to kill you, and all that oils and processed foods and starches and glutens and all that stuff, that's the stuff that'll kill people. Not the beef, not the fried chicken without the bread on it, not all that. That stuff won't kill you. That stuff's bacon. Bacon won't kill you. If you don't cook it in vegetable oil and seed oils, it won't kill you. It's good for you. And I had to find this stuff out over time. And if I've been doing it since probably December or December maybe, I started really getting into the dieting stuff, because I needed to lose this weight, needed to drop it off, drop that weight off of me. And I figured when I do go to my doctor, go in there and see him, he's going to be like, hey man, you lost weight like I lost weight. And yeah. And I did cut my medicines down, and I'm going to go in there and do a fasting blood sugar test, which I do a blood pressure check and all that stuff whenever I go in there. In the beginning, when they first let go in there, but I haven't done a blood sugar test in quite a while. First thing is, you have to buy these strips, and I have a blood pressure monitor meter thing, and I just over here, that's another thing here in the Philippines is test strips. Now, test strips are the same as over there. They say, hey, this guy needs to check his blood sugar. We're going to jack the price of those up. So you don't really test it as much as you want to test it, but you learn your own body. You learn what you can do and what you shouldn't do and everything else. And then everybody says, oh, you need to make sure you test it. You could be sitting there after not eating for 3 days and your blood sugar could be through the roof. You get to where you feel your body. You feel like people saying, no, blood pressure, it's the silent killer. No, it really not silent. I mean, I can tell when my blood pressure goes up. I can tell when things, because I get headaches and get this way and that way. And so you learn your own body. You learn how to do stuff. You know, you're the gatekeeper of your own body. There's nobody else going to do it. I mean, you get married and you have family and you have kids and they look out for you and kind of do things for you. But you're the number one person that has to watch out for yourself. Now, you could let yourself go and just say, fate'll happen when it happens, or you can take care of yourself and say, by this time next year, I'm going to be this way or be that way, and you look at it in a positive way. One day I'll be old and stuck in a chair somewhere, hoping the kids come along, spray me off with the water hose, and hey, Daddy pooped himself again, and spray him off with that water. But until that time comes, I'm going to try to take care of myself, be around and take care of them. And I still get certain problems and everything, but I do get out and walk once in a while, and I'm not able to walk marathons yet, but the time will come. But I'm able to get up, stand up, do a sit-up, go through a door, in and out a door, and without having to kind of turn sideways and hold that belly up. Used to be a washing machine. When they wash clothes, they'd have the little washing machine in that hallway in that front room. I'd have to get in the bathroom or the kitchen, so I'd usually have to go around the washing machine. I'd try it, the washing machine right here, wall right here, and I'd say, look, and I couldn't get through it, and I'd have to lift up my belly over top of the washing machine just to get through there. So, don't have to do that anymore. Well, I've been rambling on for how long? Hour? People ain't gonna watch my videos that long. Well, if you watch the first few parts of it, it might be alright. And I hope everybody subscribes to my channel. I hope that you consider liking my video, or don't like it that way, either way. Share it out with your friends, though, and tell your friends about it. And let me know whether or not I should get a emo puppet and say, hey, everybody, I'm an emo, or get a Jeffy and, make a Franken Jeffy out of it. So that way I can have some idea, and let me know if you would watch a live stream if I did a live stream. But anyways, we're going to put this video back on our normal channels. That way you don't miss a thing. Take care, guys. God bless everybody. Talk to you later.